Have you ever felt like making original art was terrifying? Like, it's this huge leap of faith you're just not ready to take because deep down you don't believe you can. If that hits home, well, this video is for you. When I was a little kid, I loved how lines could become shapes and how shapes could become drawings, and how those drawings could make you feel something. It wasn't, it was just a hobby back then that helped me relax, calm my brain, and make me feel good. I didn't even think about originality. I just copied stuff I liked. Cartoonish cup of tea, beautiful tree. Whatever I found interesting. Maybe it was the way we were taught in school. We never drew from life. Every teacher would come in with a pre-made picture or drawings and show us how to copy them step by step, or it was just a video, like a tutorial video on how to do that painting. So copying became the only way I knew how to make art. As I grew older, the belief that real artists are people who can draw from imagination became more and more concrete in my brain. I saw people who could draw off the top of their heads, and great artists who did that too, like famous artists. Like they could just draw something simple, like a cup of tea, and imagine it in a way that was so mind blowing. It made you stop scrolling. Or you would walk into a gallery or a museum and see those drawings of a cup, the same cup, in a couple paintings, but different people in different ways they intercept that, and it would just pull you in, conveying a feeling, or being disturbingly beautiful, imperfect, but beautiful. There were people in my life who could just draw trees without reference, or a person without reference. They just did it off the top of their heads. And for me, when I was younger, that was fascinating. It still is. So that feeling that I'm not an artist feeling felt more believable. That's why I never felt like I was a real artist, because we all saw these people who could draw anything, anytime, in any medium, and I wasn't that. I just wanted to tell you what the definition of an artist, because I was just so curious, I had to look it up. Before I get to the definition, I just want to say that now I understand that a lot of great painters and artists, amazing people, honestly, still draw from reference. However they are, they sometimes need to use reference, whether it's in an animation studio, or as a painter, or as an illustrator, anyone. There are people I thought would never use reference, and I was honestly blown away to find out they did. I couldn't believe it when they told me. But art schools don't usually tell you that. They don't teach you to use reference because for them it's not original. They will tell you not to use a reference from a picture or a drawing, and if you do use one, it has to be your own, and it has to be spawned in a way that's original. It has just to be more. But in the beginning, of course, you should do a lot of self studies. Like they give them a lot of reference, but they usually draw from life. That's how you build a concrete base in your brain about how everything works, how depth works, how this line conveys this form, how the shadow gives weight. Just how everything like that is. And it just builds the gallery in your brain, the muscle memory in your hand and in your head. So in the beginning, you really should do lots of studies. So back to the definition of an artist. Well, there's two definitions that I found. UK dictionary, an artist is someone who paints or makes sculptures or someone who creates things with great skill and imagination. And in Merriam Webster dictionary, it's a person who creates art, painting, sculptures, music, or writing using conscious skill and creative imagination. Keyword here, imagination. I just want to say that in both definitions, if you have noticed, none had said that it has to be perfect or beautiful. Okay? Because the perfectionist in me was so happy to see that. Anyway, that's why I still struggle with it. That the word imagination. And the etymology of the word, so for anyone who doesn't know what etymology is, it's just what the original word came from. Like, what's the original of artist? It was artiste in French, meaning a person practicing a craft, a student of liberal arts. And being good in your class or in your school actually gives you a lot of confidence to pursue art, which I hadn't. Like, like Look Back, the movie, she was the best in class and suddenly she wasn't. And I had the opposite of that feeling. She was so encouraged to get better and I wasn't. I was like, okay, it's not in the cards for me. So I really pushed it aside, but I did enjoy the feeling of being able to replicate something really well. And I only got better because I drew when I felt motivated, when I was hyper focused on what was happening in a picture because I was so stressed out or I was so motivated. So usually it's just these two feelings. Like, I drew when I was motivated or I was so stressed that I had to just get my mind off of all those feelings and all those thoughts. I needed a drug, and art was that for me. So I was observing the picture really, really closely and understanding how this works and why this artist did that. Why did they choose this color and how they did it and how they solved this problem of what happened there and how they made the problem and solve it, because sometimes you do problems in a drawings and you just fix them, just it's just how it goes, like why the stroke was placed here and how it was there. After graduation, I was lost. I didn't know what to do because I was postponing everything until I was graduated. And that's a huge mistake. Please, for the love of God, never do that. Never, ever, ever do that. So if you're in school, if you're married, if you're whatever you're doing and you want to do something else, don't postpone it till you're like, oh, there's gonna be a better time. There's going to be a better way. There's no better anything. The better, the best time to start is right now, not tomorrow, not after you graduate, not after you're married, not after you have kids, not after you travel to that certain place. Just do it now. If you want to do that art account, do it. If you want to, I don't know, do anything you want, just start. If you want to take a chemistry class right now, do it, because if you do it now, you will be ahead. You will be ahead of everyone who started late, just like myself. If you found something that you want to do, that's just your body, your gut telling you. I mean, I'm gonna be a little bit delusional right now. I'm just gonna be a little bit delusional right now. But there's a theory that what you want right now is just your future self telling you to reach that potential. And little by little, I'm starting to believe it, because every time I move from like 2024 to 2025, there were things I wanted to do, and when I didn't do it, and in 2025, I was like, shit, I was like, oh my god, why did I like do this thing that my god told me to get up and do it? Whatever it's swimming, running, or crafting, or doing whatever it is, you will be ahead, just like a player. Anyone, quite literally, if you practice out of practice, you will get better. If you like something, do it. By mistake, I was like asking myself, like, how many days do we actually live? And if we calculated that we die at 70, you're going to have 550,000 days. I don't know how you see it, but when I saw that number, I was like, that's so less. Just 25,000 days on this earth. I felt like I was robbed. Like I wasted 8,000 of these. And I was like, oh my god. I have so little time. And half of this time, like there's going to be like 10 years that I'm not going to function as properly if I don't take care of myself, and what I'm doing right now is not getting me anywhere. So I'm like, what? Anyway, fast forward to when I finally realized that art was my passion. I wanted to solidify that, so I was searching for an art course. But before I went, I was trying to learn the fundamentals myself. Boxes, perspective from videos and tutorials. It was a big mash of horrendousness. I was so confused. I felt like I was wasting so much time because there was no one saying, you're doing great, you're in the right path. Just me watching tutorials and reading books, trying to get things, like trying to get the most information I can. There was nobody telling me I was doing good or that I was progressing. And honestly, that's what art school is for. It's there for guidance and mentorship. That's what you pay for. It's a safety net. Because can anyone do what they do in art school? Yes. There are lots of people who didn't go to art school. They are amazing artists. They blow me away every and each single time. And every time I get shocked that they weren't in art school. So yes, it's not that hard. The hard part is finding another pair of eyes to guide you through this whole dilemma of trying to get better. Anyway, after that, I found an oil painting workshop. It's pretty famous in my country, the only one that's been around for years. So, well, what do you think? I joined. And honestly, the experience was astonishing. I had so much fun. I learned things I didn't know but needed. I learned that you don't have to be a great artist to be an artist. If you draw, if you're honing your skills, if you're trying to get better, then you are an artist. You don't have to reach anything, like the definition being said. An artist is someone who creates with skill. Even if it's not from imagination, you're already doing half of it. And if you have any workshops or live sessions near you, please join. Mingle with people, find art community. It will make you break into the industry. It will expose your art to people who didn't even know you made it. Because I kept this a secret for the longest time. Even my closest friends didn't know I painted until recently. And they've known me for years. And some of my close family didn't know I drew seriously. And they were like blown away, like, oh, you actually draw. Like, yeah, that's how low my self-esteem, that's how low my self-confidence was, and my art wasn't that bad. It was okay. Anyway, I just want to tell you that in the art course for the first anyway I just want to tell you that in the art workshop, for the first time, I was actually obligated to draw a big piece. That was the biggest I've ever done. Like, up until then. It was 35 by 50 centimeters, and it was from life. Like, there was a, like, a stand and a table and and a pot, and well, I drew that. And that was something I've never done before. I've always drawn from pictures. Usually it was pre-made drawings. Even then I didn't use real photos. I copied paintings from other artists I liked. I was too scared to draw from life. Even with all the anxiety I felt in front of 20 people and professor drawing in that huge canvas and on an easel, my mind was frying. But I just pushed through it because I didn't have any other option. My only other option was like literally just leave the space and be like, sorry, I don't draw. And that would have been a confession to myself that I'm not a real artist. I'm not an artist at all because I was scared to draw in front of people. But I pushed through it anyway and I did it. And I was so happy that I did because honestly, it turned out to be really, really good. I was astonished. I didn't even think I could do something like that. Not in a million years. I thought I could just do small paintings, that I couldn't do big real pieces. But all those years watching tutorials, even little 2-part perspective tutorial made it easier. There was this one class where we had to draw the room in perspective, and all these amazing artists around me didn't really understand it, but I did. The tiny tutorial gave me the edge. So I wanted to tell you, even if you're not drawing right now, if you're just watching tutorials or studying other people's art, that counts. You're learning. Art schools quite literally makes you copy the masters, Van Gogh, Monet, all of them, just to understand how they thought, how they solved the problems. So trust the process. Honestly, I've recorded this over and over again, just trying to make this raw and real, because I don't want you to feel alone in this, because I felt alone and I don't want anyone else to feel like this. I'm just trying to share my experience, and maybe that would be helpful in a way. Anyway, after the workshop, I was overwhelmed because I left everything and I still wanted that momentum of getting better. So I kept just learning everything again. Perspective boxes, color theory, anatomy, all at once. Felt like I was high because it was so much. And then it all came crashing down. I was also drawing digitally, so I was trying to get better, and my laptop broke down and I had to fix it. And I really wanted to get a screen to draw on, like a digital screen to draw on, instead of just drawing with a graphic tablet without actually looking where the line lands. So I got a job, and poof, 8 hours of my day gone. After a few months of barely drawing, I looked back and realized I was doing well. I was in high season, I was progressing. I didn't even know it. I learned that, like, I understood that being confused and being lost is just a part of the journey. And for me, getting better came from pushing through the art block, through the misery, through the failure, just trying again every day, even for 10 minutes. That's how I got better. That's how I made progress. So, in the end, my advice for you is to copy. Like an artist, copy what you love. Call them studies, and if you want to post them, please credit them to the original artist and ask them first. Some don't mind and others do, so please just be respectful. Because when you draw your original piece, even if it's your first original piece, you're gonna feel like it's your baby. So you don't want anyone to touch your baby, so Please be respectful and just ask the artist first. And if you're still worried about originality, just remember whatever you do, it's already been done, but it's never been done by you. Feeling lost and confused is just a part of the journey. It's just a human feeling that you cannot just push away and expect it to be pushed away. It's something that you have to acknowledge and accept and talk to yourself out of it, because you're not fake, you're just learning. And you don't need to be perfect, you just need to show up, even if it's for 10 minutes, even if it's just for a doodle, even if it's not original. Because all of those drawings that feel like failures, those are the exact pieces that are going to carry you on top. Imagine the failures, the horrible drawings that you've burned or cut in half, or have them stashed away under a rock somewhere. Imagine those are the ladder to your dream, to the star that is being great at drawings. I don't know if you've ever stood in books before, but I have, and they do actually work really well as ladders. So paper are concrete things that can really help you. So just when you're drawing, imagine that you have that dream of being an amazing artist or making art your living, that every piece you draw is a mental block. It's thin, it's gonna take time, but it's gonna make you reach the star. Before you go, just a little homework, just a little art homework, because that's something I wanted someone to do for me, instead of just walking in the dark and not knowing what to do. So for 1 week, try to draw gesture poses for just 30 minutes a day, each day. Do 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, and 5 minutes drawings. Focus on the feeling of the pose, how it makes you feel. Exaggerate. It doesn't have to be perfect. Gesture drawings are not about being perfect. It's about capturing that feeling. And of course, 30 seconds drawings should be like really loose. The more you take time, it should be more defined. So 30 seconds should be really, really loose, like these. And if you need help, I really, really recommend, I highly recommend Proco playlist of gestural drawings. It includes Michael Hampton tutorial, and the whole video is on Proco's website. And Proco himself and Mike Matsey, the author of Force, and there's another one who's called Tom. I think he was a comic artist. He's really, 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 really amazing. I loved the playlist, the whole playlist of gestural drawings. They were really good. They helped me a lot. And I really recommend you checking these out. Like, in case of doubt, always go check them out. I loved Michael Hampton book and Mike Matsey book, Force. They were great books, and they helped me a lot with my gestural drawings and my figure drawings as well. And if you felt something from this video, if it helped you or if it made you feel less alone, please tell me in the comments. Tell me how you felt or how you're feeling. Having the knowledge that you're not alone in this just makes us feel safe, makes us want to process. And if you're starting or restarting or just still figuring it out, please join me with my journey into figuring this mess that's called art. And hopefully we can grow together. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope to see you next time. And I hope you have the utmost wonderful day or night, whenever or wherever you're watching me. Thank you for allowing me to waste your time.